Because I've always had a hand in writing my own stuff, I've always kind of known what I was doing, you know. Like even when I was in WCW, the second time, not Scotty Flamingo, but as Raven, Bischoff let me write my own storylines, which was huge because only Hulk got to write his own storylines. Unfortunately, what would happen is Sullivan and Terry Taylor didn't like that I was getting to write my own stuff, so they would try and change it, which I don't have a problem with somebody changing it and making it better, but they would just change it to screw with it. You know, just because Sullivan was just pissed that I was going to do my own stuff. But so for the most part, I've always kind of known what I'm doing. In ECW, I kind of had a hand in my own stuff too, so I knew what I was doing. So I'm the exception, not the rule. But TNA, I don't know. You know, I find out when I get there if I got a promo or not. And usually when I get a promo, I mean, well, if I think of something clever, I'll write it down. And I got notebooks filled with clever stuff, or at least I think it's clever. And I think clever is the key. If you can cut a promo and the guy in the front row could say the exact same thing, you know, because it's that easy to come up with, then you didn't cut a very good promo. You know, let alone whether you have any intensity or believability factor. You know, like if you're just cutting let me tell you something, I'm gonna kick your butt. I mean, that's pretty bland and generic. If it's that, you know, it shouldn't be. It should have some flavor, some style. And so I write stuff down, and so what I'll do is, if they say, all right, you got a promo, I'll look through my stuff and I'll think, ooh, I'd like to use this line today. And I'll find some clever line that I came up with or I read somewhere, I wrote it down. You know, there's a British comic book author, Warren Ellis, just brilliant, just writes the most mad, crazy stuff. And every so often something that he wrote, I'll write it down, you know, and I'll use that, or I'll change, you know, some of the words, but the thought will be the same. Which actually, I got the idea of taking stuff from other people, from Jake Roberts. Jake Roberts used to like read song lyrics, and that's where he'd get a lot of his material from. And you could call it plagiarism, but I think imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But I'll pick a line and I'll go, oh, I like this line, I want to get this in, and then I'll build a promo around that line. You know, like if I got to get, the office will say, we need you to say this. This has to be covered. Then I'll look through my stuff and go, oh, this applies to that, and I get my clever little thing, and then I'll take those two bits of information and I'll build the whole thing together. And now, and the hard part is, like, it's very hard to talk in, I call it Ravenese, where that pseudo mystical mumbo jumbo, you know, it's very hard. Like, I can't come up with that off the top of my head. You know, I can't just, I mean, I can a little bit, but I can't just, you know, some things in life, sometimes in life we make our own choices. Sometimes in life a choice is made for us, and sometimes there is no choice. And you're gonna give somebody watching that camera a headache the way you keep moving it around. But anyway, it's all right, I don't care, but I've watched stuff with a camera and you're like, you get seasick. Anyway, so hold it still. Stuff like that, like you don't just come up with it on the top of your head, so I gotta, you know, put a little effort, I gotta write things out. And after doing it for so many years, I don't want to prepare it. Like I like when I don't prepare at all. I like to just go out there and just think off the top of my head, because it's more challenging. You know what I mean? And I like that. And that's the kind of rush I'm getting. So I'm trying to get away from the Ravenese now and speak more like how I normally speak, which is how you're hearing. Which is also why I'm a good commentator, because I'm very quick. You know, I'm very quick-witted. I'm very clever on my feet. Which is, you know, why most people can't be commentators, you know, because there's a lot of great promo men that can't commentate for crap because they can't think on their feet. They need to have time to prepare, you know. I've never needed any time to prepare except when I'm talking in Ravenese. But does that answer your question?
That does.